Hello and welcome to Morningstar Studios. I'm John.
And I'm Tyler.
And today we're going to be doing the top 10 trailers of E3 2014. Now, it was an exciting E3.
It was very exciting, yes.
Did you like it? You weren't in our podcast, so we didn't really get to hear the Tyler opinion.
I can tell you that I watched the entire live stream on IGN.com of every single thing. I watched Nintendo's today, the day on the day that it happened. Everything was just, it blew me away of all the possible games that are coming out, and there was a lot of good stuff. It's going to be a good year.
Yep. And today we have the top 10 trailers from E3 2014, and now here's the criteria for it. This is a list that I made. Tyler's here just to deliberate on them a little bit more, see if he agrees with the choices. All the trailers picked had to have been from E3 2014, obviously. I'm including stuff that was in indie montages as well in my factoring, though they didn't get showed as much. They weren't the full trailers. Yeah. I am including them. So say if Hotline Miami got a quick blurb, they may be in there. Who knows?
Yep.
I'm also including it if there is gameplay, if just a gameplay trailer, because those are technically trailers as well. Also, this goes through all events, all the conferences. So Nintendo, Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, and Sony. So in those 5 conferences, all these are going to be from. Also, keep in mind, this is my opinion. If you have your own opinion or there's something missing from the list, I just want to say there were so many good ones. It was really hard to narrow it down.
I mean, exactly. Every single one of these games, every one of these trailers really gave you a really nice bite into what's to come, you know?
Exactly. So let's get the ball rolling with number 10, Legend of Zelda Wii U. That was an amazing Zelda trailer. It was quick, but great.
It was a great snippet of it. I love how they showed the open world of what's possible. I mean, what this engine can really bring to a Zelda series, this newer engine, and it's just brilliant. I mean, when you look at that opening shot of that open mountain range, and like you can explore it all. It's an open range, it's beautiful. And then all of a sudden you see, and then all of a sudden it brings in the nice Zelda vibe with that awesome creature, unexpected creature in the wild, just coming at you. And it just comes at you, plows through all the scenery, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, and like there was robotics there. Like some people were considering like steampunk Zelda,
exactly,
which would be interesting. I don't think they've done anything like that before. Like like full steampunk. They haven't.
No, they haven't. They've had some elements into it, but they really haven't done a lot with it, which would be really cool with the Zelda series. One thing I want to point out though that Nintendo is hinting at is that in the trailer, that's not Link.
I know, because it looks vaguely like him, but it's not quite there. It looks a lot more feminine.
It is. They asked the game developer the creator developer who that is, and like they're bringing up. So what was what was you going through your head with this Link development? And he said, and his response was, who said it was Link? And it's just like, oh no, can it be Zelda? Are they gonna expand on the character development of Zelda, give her as becoming a playable character?
Yeah, I mean that was really interesting. Legend of Zelda Wii U trailer. It looked beautiful and it really packed a punch. Number 9, Rainbow Six Siege, another Tom Clancy title. That was a really cool gameplay trailer. It was the graphics were great. The destructible environment they showed you what you can do with it. You can work together as a team and plan out these things. It sold me on it.
Yeah, well, that's how Rainbow Six has been. You know, it's always had that style of you working together. It's a lot more of a work together co-op game. It really brings people brings people's minds together. And I think with this trailer, it's kind of bringing back that whole old aspect of you playing with your friends and really working together. We kind of lost the edge with the shooter genres. It's still a shooter game, but you lose that whole edge because no one ever wants to play in the same room, or are just together anymore. And I think
also you get kind of that vibe in other games where it's like, oh, you want to shine out above everyone else. You want the highest kill count on the team.
Yeah.
Here, it's more of like you win by just getting the hostage out, by saving the day.
It's really cool how it, like in the game though, it shows you how it, like it's when someone dies. It say it starts out with 5v5, correct?
Yeah.
And once someone goes down, it says 5v4. So it's really cool how you get one shot kill in this game. When you get shot, it's like it's more realistic. Where if you get shot, you're dead. You know, you can't survive multiple hit fires just like any other shooter game. It makes it really, really intense, and it makes you really think about and plan out every move you're gonna make. Especially, I mean, my favorite part was the fact that you could blow in a pathway. If you see someone in one room, you could use C4 and blow your way through the walls and the floor to get to them.
Yeah, and it really packed a punch, and it was really interesting. Number 8, Assassin's Creed Unity. That was it was a really interesting trailer. French Revolution, so a lot of great architecture they showed. They showed off the 4-player combat that you could do, and also, I mean, it was gritty. It had a lot of violence in it, and it was like a class warfare type thing, something that can be kind of related to. And it was one of the earlier trailers we saw at E3 because it was in the Microsoft conference. It was also in the Ubisoft conference. So we got double the trouble, but it was a great trailer.
I would love to point out though about the French Revolution. It is one of the bloodiest of revolutions, so I think that's why it's going to be a lot more intensity in this game. And I noticed a lot with the trailer though. It seems like they're doing a lot of aspects where you're not just trying to kill the target, but you're trying to help the people kill the target. If you notice, like there was one part where he's releasing the gate to let all the people in. I think if they start implementing that element into Assassin's Creed games, it gives more of a play style that's new to the genre, and I think it can really make the game a lot more interesting because they've made a lot of games and it might soon start to get repetitive. Even though history can't get really repetitive, but
Yeah. Let's see. Number 7. Magicka 2, that was a hilarious trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, having played the first Magicka and just seeing him so recklessly holding on to the staff and electrocuting stuff, and just him searching for a job after it was really funny.
I love how it said day 1,234 or whatever of unemployment, and I automatically I was dying. It was just too funny.
I mean, in a world where a lot of video game trailers they tend to be more serious tone, that was a good refresher. It made you laugh. It was lighthearted for that part of the convention.
I'm glad that game got a lot of showing. This Magicka isn't a huge game. It's mostly for PC. And the fact that game got a really big showing at E3 really, really shows me that these lower end, not AAA title games can really get a big movement.
Exactly.
It's just really impressive to me.
Number 6 was Arkham Knight, and just from when the robotic bat suit went on him, that already sold me on the trailer. It was a really solid trailer, and it went from they showed the cinematics of how good it could look with the suit. And then they went into the gameplay aspects, the gliding around, the Batmobile. They did a really good job of showing everything off, the combat. Everything was in there.
Everything. Yeah, exactly. And I love how at the beginning of the trailer, he puts the suit on and everything, but he comes out of this, you have the best, his apartment is just a beautiful, or his penthouse in a way, is just a beautiful view, and it shows you how vast the city can be. How big the rendering is, how much there is to explore. I think that was a perfect way to start out a trailer, because when you, as a gamer myself, and I look at that, I'm like, wow, I can really explore. And the fact that you could fly anywhere you want, because that's how the series has always been, it just really gave me a drive to really want to explore that Gotham City, and it just was amazing.
And the thing they did at the end there with Scarecrow interrupting the stream, that was really good. That was really good interactive stuff for the crowd to see. So that was really good, playing with the crowd and they encrypt the video. It was a really good trailer. Number 5, Sunset Overdrive. First off, I actually don't want to spoil it really, so I suggest watching it first and then coming over here. Are you done? You done? All right, we're back. So Sunset Overdrive. It starts off, they make it look like it's your standard shooter, and I even groaned Xbox are making another shooter game that looks the same. And then they completely 180'd it.
Yeah, I love how they gave, and I think I love the twist that they did with that. But my favorite part was that when he finally left, his comment he made when he left the building was like, "Oh, have fun with your box friend," or whatever. And I thought that was the funny. It was a little snippet, but it was the humor that just kind of was really there. And you know what it really reminded me of? I don't know if you got the same impression. Was Jet Set Radio. I don't know if you've seen anything.
I've been comparing it to Tony Hawk's, but yeah, I do see Jet Set Radio in there.
It's got
a
lot
bit of Dead Rising.
Yeah, that's what I got too. I think it's just a really cool arcade, more of an intense. I think there's just a lot of elements to it that it's kind of new. It's kind of a new kind of genre with all those elements.
It's also a very bright trailer. So I mean, like there was a lot of like dark and edgy trailers, but this one was like really lighthearted. A lot of orange in there. Orange was actually, I'm going to call it, orange was the official color of the E3 trailer, because there were so many trailers with a lot of orange and blue in them.
Which is, a very bright combo, and, and overall, Sunset Overdrive, it's a really unique game, and I think it's going to do very well, because it's a new style game, and I like when these new consoles need to do this. They need to stop just promoting the series games, even though they are still really well done, but the fact that they're coming out with a new game, the new kind of story, new mechanics, and I'm really excited for it.
All right, number 4, Inside. You didn't see this trailer, I think you said.
No, I don't remember seeing anything on it.
I think you should definitely watch it. It's not a long trailer. It's by the guys who made Limbo. So,
wait, now I remember.
Oh, you remember it. You remember it.
Yeah,
I knew you couldn't have missed it.
Yeah.
That was intense, that trailer. Like the visuals were really good. It had that Limbo vibe, but it wasn't completely pitch black. That the breathing, the rain, the stomping of the boots. It was really unnerving.
I really enjoyed the immersion of it. I mean, it really puts you. I mean, I like the whole depth of the side-scrolling aspect they put with the elements, with like all the stuff going on in the background. I mean, if you notice, it kind of has that 3D feel of depth perception, but you're still going. It's a normal side-scroller, just like Limbo is. And I just think with that depth perception and that whole 3D view, I think it's really going to give a lot more room for puzzles. And I think it really can play, just kind of like how Little Big Planet does it. They have that 3D. It gives you a lot more room for puzzle making and a lot more challenges that can be done.
All right, number 3. This one was a big favorite with a lot of the fans. The Dead Island 2 trailer.
Oh, yeah.
That was one. It was a really beautiful looking trailer. Like the detail on everything, like the skin had pores, and just it was bright. It was comical. I kind of don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it already. I'm assuming a lot of people have seen it because it's been like the big runaway hit trailer from E3, from what I've seen so far. But here, I'll let you watch it. Did you watch it?
Yeah, well,
good. All right. So, I mean, you have the guy walking down. The emotions on him are so funny. He's such a jerk, and he knows it. And
I know. I mean, that's kind of what I look like when I put my headphones in. I'm just cruising down and just
looks like a jackass on the street. Yeah.
When you think about it, though, when anyone puts headphones in, they automatically turn into a douchebag. I mean, it's like, like if you're just cruising down the road and you listen to if you're listening to some gangster rap music, and all of a sudden you just turn into a hoodlum, you're just like, oh yeah, I'm a freaking gangster. Yo, what's up? But he's listening to this, and he's just like, oh, I don't care about anything in the world. I'm just gonna keep running.
And the escalation of it was ridiculous. It started off with just like the bikini girl, then she gets eaten, and then helicopters are crashing and things are exploding.
And I just love how he slowly turns into a zombie near the end of it, and it really gave a good vibe. I think it kind of was I didn't know what it was gonna be. I think are they gonna make another Dead Rising game because it's zombies, or is this gonna be Dead Island 2, which it ended up being?
I mean, the Dead Island series, they always make really good trailers. Like Dead Island Riptide had a really emotional trailer that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're back again with that. Let's hope that the game's good. But
I
it would be a
think
shame. It would be a shame if the trailer was really good and the game was kind of disappointing.
I think the zombie genre has been overplayed a lot, but still people still crave zombie games. I mean, look at
As
Walking.
if there's zombies for zombie games.
Yeah, exactly. But you know how like Walking Dead is just it's just that genre really attracts people. And I think if they just can make a really cool mechanics and really bring the game a little more to life and give you more of an put you in a zombie state of mind, then I think they'll do great.
Yeah, let's go to number 2, Valiant Hearts. Oh man, that was a tearjerker.
Yeah, when I watched that one, I felt the whole the dog just really put a tear in my eye. Just right at that ending scene. I mean, I don't want to spoil. We shouldn't spoil that ending scene because it really makes you really want to play the game. Because it's like, wow, this story really hit me.
Yeah. And I mean, just all the stories, the people they talk about in there, and like the dog's sad narration. Yeah, I know that when we say the dog's sad narration, people will probably think like that seems kind of ridiculous, but I mean, it's pretty heart-wrenching. I mean, the art style of it's really cool. I'm excited for it. It sold me. I want it.
Yeah, exactly, and it's gonna be a lot. It's another one of those games where it's not a AAA game, and it's getting a lot of publicity. It's not a AAA market game, and it might be cheaper. It'll be a lot cheaper. It's probably going to be half the price as most games, and I think it's just going to do very well because of it. Because now we're starting to get more back into like good old days with what story was the main thing, And I think that's where this E3 really brought it to life. It's like, oh, story's starting to get back into the game again. Like, oh man, story games are awesome, And I'm so glad that this kind of genre is starting to come back.
And Valiant Hearts did definitely have one of the best story-based trailers.
Yes.
Before we get to number 1, let's take a look at 5 honorable mentions. We'll just talk about them quickly. White Knight was like 5 seconds they showed it. It was in like one of the indie montages, but it already kind of sold me. It looks beautiful. It's stark black and white, and you got the orange of the flame flickering. It's noir. It's Alfred Hitchcock inspired. It looks so good. I really want to see more from this. I can't wait to see it when it comes out. I want to see some gameplay footage to see what it's like. It's such an interesting concept. Mario Maker. I like that because they start off with the standard Mario level, and then they're like, oh well, the pipe's too big, and they lower it, and it's cool. It's like a comeback of Mario Paint.
Well, no, that's exactly what it is because they had. If you saw the reference, they used the fly swatter. If you saw the reference to it, just like in Mario Paint. And I think it's really cool I think that's something Nintendo did a really good job, especially this entire conference, is that they used their nostalgia and they used a lot of their games that brought so much love to everybody, like everyone loved, and they're just using their nostalgia to really try and win over some new crowd. And I think it's going to do a good job. I mean, Mario Maker really, that's what a lot of people do now. It's a perfect time to make a game like that because Mario Paint wasn't as popular now. It was not as popular back. It was amazing back then, but if you put it in the state where like Minecraft games, creation games are starting to become really big, that's gonna make people go nuts. I mean, it's gonna be amazing. I mean, the fact that you could probably play other people's Mario games, and it's just gonna be awesome.
Entwined is also on our honorable mentions list. That was really good. It was one of the 2 I consider like the stark orange and blue ones. Because that one, like, you had the orange fish and the blue bird, and there was, like, a little bit of, like, a story between the 2 that just played out in the motions.
Yep.
It was a really nice-looking trailer, and, I mean, I'm still not fully sold on it. Because it didn't show enough of what it's really about. I've seen some gameplay footage of it, but,
It's a simple game. I mean, again, it's another one of those games. It's not a big company that's making it. And they're playing around with some cool new game mechanics, and I think what it really shows is that these kind of games can really do really well, and I'm hoping it does do really well. And I just kind of like the whole idea of, I think it's co-op. I think one person can play one character. So I mean, I think it's kind of a cool work together game. You can really enjoy the environment that it puts you in, with the whole concept of it, and I think it could be really cool.
No Man's Sky is also on our honorable mentions. That is it's an interesting looking concept. I mean, they had the dinosaurs and they had the spaceships, and you can go to the different planets and whatnot. And also, I considered it one of my orange and blue trailers. It also had a lot of orange and blue to it.
Oh my god! When I first saw the trailer, I'm like, what is this? You know, it really left you like, what can this be? You know?
I was like so curious. Like, at first, I was like, what's going on? There's a cave, now there's dinosaurs.
Well, no. When I first saw the plane, I'm like, is this a Star Wars game?
Everything's a Star Wars game.
Well, no, I found out it's like the guys that make it kind of used to work on old Star Wars games, and they used like a Millennium Falcon, not Millennium Falcon, like a TIE fighter. I forget what kind of plane it's called, but correct me if I'm wrong. But it looked just like one, and I was just like, oh my goodness. And once he starts flying, and then you go and see the trailer, and like you could how smooth it is flying through random terrain, and the fact that it's randomized every time you play. Like anyone could play a different category. You can explore. I just think it's the ultimate way of making an exploration game, especially in a time right now where exploration games are starting to become really big.
Like the Stanley Parable. But
it's good. Yeah,
I love Stanley Parable. Our last honorable mention was Destiny, which I mean it was like a monolith of a trailer, but it just didn't do enough for me in the trailer itself to make me buy it. I mean, like if I looked into it a little bit more, maybe it'd be something for me. But the trailer it was monolithic, but it seemed like a video game trailer. It didn't have anything like
it. That's the thing with Bungie. What they usually do is they do a lot of gameplay cinematic, machinima style. Like that's what a lot of my MMOs kind of do. So like this Destiny's an MMO, and I think they just tried that, and it always never flows well as it should. I mean, if they did more cinematic, like animation, like a lot of the big companies do, I think it would have done a lot better. But I think it's kind of cool how they showed the gameplay a little more, but in a cinematic way at the same time. But I think but again, at the game itself, if you watch the actual gameplay trailer, is completely better than the actual trailer they revealed at the conference.
All right, and we have one honorable dishonorable mention. My mistake. This is the only trailer from E3 that I can say that I honestly hated, and that was The Sims 4. And that's really something, because I'm a Sims fan. And that trailer, one, it was a carbon copy of the first trailer they put out for that. It was basically the same concept. There really wasn't much added. Other than, I think the only thing they added, I think, was that you can import Sims. That's really it. That's not even anything that's a big deal. Like, when they were presenting it was being presented like, what is that game called? Tamagotchi Life?
Yep.
And that game was stupid, and its trailers are stupid. So, if it's being advertised like Tamagotchi Life, then it's already failing in selling me in the game, because I already don't like the Tamagotchi Life trailers.
I mean, you could just say the entire EA conference was just an utter failure in general. I mean, there was cool things like, you know, Mass Effect being announced, and, you know, Mirror's Edge 2 being announced a little more. But other than that, EA just kind of sucked.
Yeah, let's get to our number one. Tom Clancy's The Division. That trailer left my jaw dropped. That was such an amazing trailer. I mean, you need to go watch it now, but I need to discuss it for a second. Just the way they presented the story that was going on. They didn't like outright tell you everything. They just let it present out with like some bits of dialogue from people nearby, and just like the stop motion visuals to it. It looked beautiful. It was such a sad tale, and it really put you in the universe of the game. Even their invisibility type thing, they were talking about how I forget exactly the message they said. It was like all tragedy is invisible or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this they said. And
it was so clever.
And yeah, Tom Clancy. This was the E3 for Tom Clancy. I mean, two really, really big games that had two completely different concepts to it, and it's really exciting for them to really bring out two big games. And I think I loved, like I said, you were talking about the stop motion, but the time lapse. It really, really puts you in the atmosphere. you know what I mean? It's just when you see the house in the beginning with the girl in the bed or whatever.
That part got me. It got me right
Yeah.
there at that part because you see the
growing.
impression of the girl in the bed.
Yeah,
then
growing.
you start to hear the crying, and then
Yep.
you see the pills, and then the impression goes away.
Exactly, and
It
it just
killed me right there.
And you know what? That's the best way to get somebody, because when you really feel for a character and you don't even know who the character is, that is when you know. That's when you know a trailer is done its job. I mean, it really gives you like, wow, I need to know more. Like, I really need to play this more to really unravel myself in this character and the characters in this game. And overall, it's going to be a really great game. Everything about this game seems really, really interesting, and it's going to be awesome.
Yep. So that was my countdown. Thank you, Tyler, for joining me on this one. If
You're
you
welcome.
guys like the countdown, hit us up with a subscription. Maybe comment and tell us how good it was, and maybe suggest some other countdowns we could do.
Yeah.
We've got another countdown that's in the works, but that might take a little bit of editing time. So don't expect it anytime soon. But if you have any topics you want to know, just let us know. If you have your own suggestions of what we missed on the list, nicely tell us in the comments below what we missed, and maybe argue your point for it. Maybe I was wrong in some things. Maybe Far Cry should have been on here. Who knows?
Actually, yeah, I'm surprised you didn't put Far Cry on this list.
Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't. It didn't stick out to me as much as these trailers. It was a good trailer, but
Oh, yeah.
these other ones like got me more. Like I reacted more to these.
No, I completely agree with you.
Yeah. So thank you for watching, and so long.
Adios.